Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Gary A. Swaby, and you are now watching or listening to our Power spoiler free review, if you will, for Raising Kanan, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. And this is for episode one back in the day. Now, this actual episode of Raising Kanan will air this weekend, officially on Sunday. It airs at 12 a.m. on Sunday morning, I believe, on the Starz app. If you are subscribed. Otherwise, you have to wait until later on in the day when it comes on TV and everything. So on cable. So yeah, we've actually had the chance to see the episode already, thanks to Stars. Because we have been reviewing these shows, since season three of Power. So we've done a lot of reviewing and recapping for Power, and Stars is aware of us. So big shouts to them. We appreciate them blessing us with the opportunity to cover the show and everything. So we're just going to give you our, spoiler-free thoughts of Raising Kanan, so you guys know what to expect, and so you have, just a basic taste of what our views are on this show. We are going to expand fully on our Powercast, which will release this Sunday, after the show airs on the Stars app, so that that our Powercast will go live shortly after it airs on the app, on Stars app. So look out for that, because we will be doing a full-on analysis, including spoilers and what happened in the episode and everything. We're going to do a complete deep dive, but this right here is just a short review, just so everyone knows what to expect, and what we thought in general. And we're not going to spoil any story or anything that happens right now. So you can be confident that you can watch us and enjoy without any spoilers ruining your experience. So I am here with Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. How are you, Richard?
Doing good, Gary. What's up, listeners and viewers?
And I'm also here with Miss Dana Abercrombie. How are you, Dana?
I'm doing very well. Excited to be here. Power's back.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, man, for real. So yeah, I've been waiting for this Raising Kanan show, and they definitely delivered. So um, the way this is going to work is I'm just going to get to each person, and you just let us know your takeaways, without spoiling anything, what you thought of the show, its themes, the actors, and everything like that. So I'll actually take it away first. I'll go first here. So my thoughts on the show is it exceeded my expectations. Production wise, it was amazing. Like you can see the step up in quality that they took for this. It seems like they really are taking this Power universe more seriously. They've hired some pretty well-known talents in the acting field. From Omar Epps. And he's a big deal in himself. And like, there's a lot of other very talented actors and actresses in this show as well. And just the dialogue feels a lot cleaner, a lot more authentic as well. Like it's like they took their time to really research things. This show is actually set in a certain period of time, back in the 90s and everything, and they did a great job, like making it feel authentic and making it feel like it really is back in the 90s. Like, you'll see a lot of things from clothing, to references and things of that nature, from the 90s. So they nailed it with that. And yeah, just the acting was just amazing. This is some of like the best acting we've seen in Power, probably in a very long time. Just the whole cast is very talented. They're able to put forward things in a very, like, sometimes in a very subtle way where you have to like catch on to it. They're able to, make you catch on to like, see certain things that you can't see through just dialogue. So there was a lot of that in this episode. So I very much appreciate that. And I can't say too much about the story, but it is very engaging. It's everything, well, not everything you would expect. It's more than what you would expect, But if you were a fan of Kanan's character in the main Power show, you're not going to be disappointed here, because they show a lot of layers of the character himself, and that's all I can say. And yeah, that I overall they did a great job with this. Music is on point as well. I don't want to say too much about that, but music is on point. There's a lot of humor in there. It's not all serious, and yeah, there's just some very strong characters as well. And I can't wait to see where they go with the different plot threads. That they've put forth in this first episode. Everyone that we know about, from Joey Badass and everything, they all did a great job, nailed it. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on the first episode of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. So I'm gonna flip over to Miss Dana Abercrombie right now. So Dana, take it away. Let us know what you thought of this.
Right off the bat, I know that we can talk about it because there was a trailer released and there was a music video that was released. We know that things changed, that this is, you're getting a different song format and you're getting a different opening. And that even though this is part of the Power universe and that this is a prequel, even if you have never seen a single Power episode, what I loved about this is you can dive right in and you won't be lost, you won't be confused about anything. This is an origin tale. So you're going to meet Kanan when he is a kid. You're going to learn about how he became, your average child, kind of scared of the universe out there, not able to really fight his own battles, until what we do know in Power, this kind of cold-blooded, ruthless killer. People have argued and said that he was a psychopath at some parts. So you can see the transition and you can see his growth throughout that. So, and if you've never seen a single Power episode, it really works by in its very own contained universe, where you get to see these characters try to make it in this world of struggle. And not even necessarily of struggle, because that's slightly the difference that we've had with the other shows. These are a group of people who know who they are. They want to achieve that power structure, and they're not afraid of backing down from it. These are, without any kind of spoilers, I can say that they are very strong-minded individuals. And when you have an environment where you're meeting different strong-minded individuals in this kind of, you could say, drug world, that's not a spoiler either, but in this drug world, you're going to get a lot of headbutting. You're going to get a lot of things that clash. And you're going to also get a lot of growth. So that is one of the things that I really did love about this. We do know that it takes place in the 90s. As you said, it is very on point when it comes to how it looks, the sound, the environments. We get it's from Jamaica, Queens. This is not a big lap of luxury. This is the regular street, Jamaica, Queens. We are introduced to the high school scene where these are people, or the school itself is not that rich, it's struggling. So you kind of see that environment of what it's like to be in that high school, what it's like to grow up in the 90s. And then there also during the 90s and the very late 80s, you had that crack era. You had, the HIV era. You also had the arcades. You had that and the hip hop, the birth of hip hop. So you get a lot of cultural references that I think that they did an excellent job at portraying. And I really have to say that between the writing and the acting, these are award-winning actors that they put in on here. And if anyone has not seen, go to Netflix. Please watch Two Distinct Strangers starring Joey Badass. My God, it's an amazing short. And when you see that, and you're like, yes, he belongs in the show. He belongs on the screen, because what they have and how they chose their actors, it is to elevate the Power universe. And I really think that this is them finally finding their footing when it comes to, how we have all the Emmy talks and all the other awards show talk. And we're kind of like, yeah, okay, Power. But when you see this and the performances that they give out, they're just as equal as anything that you may have seen on, I don't know, a Game of Thrones or something of that magnitude when it comes to how well they perform, both the writing and the acting and the production overall. So I really, truly was excited to see this, and I was more excited that they was able to pull it off.
Excellent review right there. Like, yeah, you brought up a lot of things. You did a great job of talking about the show without talking about what really happens in the show. Like you nailed that right there, because I'm bad at that. But yeah, great review right there from Dana. So let's take it over to Mr. Richard Bailey Jr. Rich, what are your thoughts on this episode of Raising Kanan?
So first and foremost, I agree 100%. Dana did a phenomenal job explaining everything without going into any spoilers. I'll start by saying this. If you know Gary A. Swaby, as long as I have known him on the Coalition, you know he is a huge 50 Cent fan. So obviously you would think, well, he's going to be very biased to anything that 50 Cent does, correct? Yes. But with all due respect, this is something that I agree 100% with both him and Dana. The show is fantastic. I mean, I could sit here and I could tell you a lot of things about the show that you've already heard about it being homage to the 90s and just how well it captures the era. The acting is fantastic. But I mean, really, to me, it's like if you're a fan of Power, if you happen to grow up in the 90s, I just think you're going to love this show. And of course, if you like the Kanan character, just like Dana mentioned, you know, it's really about his journey, starting from the very beginning. And we learn a lot about the character, that really it wouldn't make sense for me or really any of us to sit here and tell you in spoilery detail, at least not on this video, how good the show is. You really should watch it. If there's anything else that I can add, I know there have already been comments made about the actors, you know, Omar Epps, Joey Badass, fantastic. But I really think for me, the mannerisms in which some of these characters act, it really shows you how well in tune they were with the source material to make sure that this is a character that it is fully believable that this is how this character would have possibly been at a younger age. So, I mean, that as well as just the storyline, which again, I'm not going to get into, but it's just that, again, it's a great show. Can't really say too much without going into any spoiler details. I will just say, if you have been watching us and supporting the Powercast, you definitely will want to check out our Powercast episode where we will dive further into the episode. And that will be available on Sunday. So definitely check that out. But if you just want a quick reaction, first impressions, the show is fantastic. And for those that saw the Power season 6 finale and you was not happy with how everything turned out, this show 100% makes up for all of that. And that's in my personal opinion. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. And we're not capping at all right now. Like, we're being so true to, like, this is an amazing show. And here's what's great about Raising Kanan. Because I know there were a lot of like mixed reactions and mixed thoughts about Power Book 2 Ghost, because a lot of people just didn't like the fact that, you know, Ghost was dead. And that, you know, this is Tariq continuing. But when it comes to Raising Kanan, you can just enjoy it as like a separate show. Like, you don't even, it doesn't, you know, obviously we know Kanan was a character in the main Power series, right? And we know his fate of what happened to him. But this is, you know, set way before all of that. So you can just enjoy the show for what it is. And, you know, they do a great job of just like taking you away and putting you into, you know, a new place, a new story that's not connected to any of those events, you know, involving Ghost. Now, will it lead to that later on? Maybe, you know, but, you know, for now, it's just a really, you know, excellent show. And I think everybody should give it a try, even if you were one of those bitter people, you know, who didn't like the fact that, you know, Omari was taken out the show and his character was killed and everything, you know. Just give this a chance, because it is amazing. Like, they nailed it with this, like, for real. And, you know, all the actors did a great job, and they deserve their just due. They deserve to have this, you know, be successful, I think, because everybody just, you know, they killed their roles, man. Like, it was great.
Can I make one quick point?
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off of what Gary said. I know that after the original Power season ended, and I believe we all saw this is the Power universe, and we got a glimpse into what some of these other shows might be. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were skeptical if any of this stuff would be successful. I know before with Power Book 2 Ghost, we all had our thoughts. Well, this show might not be as good because we didn't really like the Tariq character that much, and then the show ended up exceeding our expectations. This show, I would argue, is the best show that they've made so far. I would say it definitely. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from what we saw with Power Book 2 Ghost. That show was phenomenal. Also, it's good too. But this show is something about this show and the way that it's done, the way it's presented. It just feels like it's on another level, and it makes me excited to also see the Tommy show, which we're not getting until early next year. But again, if you had a certain mindset about these Power spinoffs not being successful, I would just say eliminate that mindset altogether, give them a chance, and you definitely will love this show if you decide to check it out.
Yeah. If I may I just piggyback kind of off of what Richard was saying, in the sense that this is his own universe. So, when you look at the universe, you have different planets in it, and you have the Milky Way. So not every show is going to be the same. And that is what I really appreciate about Raising Kanan. Yes, there are elements where you can draw back and say that looks similar to that one, but it's not. It's really not at all. Everyone's story and every character that is in this kind of has its own way of functioning. And I really feel that they are trying to give you more than just the same show with the same repeated patterns. I really feel that these are characters, and as an individual, they are vastly different from what we've seen in the previous Power seasons, or series, sorry. And so with that said, I really love how they're creating these pockets of individualism with each of the Power I guess franchises, series, each of the series, where it creates its own little pocket of this little universe. And it has the overall picture with the overall theme of this is the drug life. And, this is how it's going to be. And even if you look forward to the Power with Tommy, the Tommy show, which I don't know which one it's Force, I think it is.
Yeah, Force.
That one, the fact that it's, is going to take on the mob, which is kind of the same themes of what we saw with drug dealing, but it's much different. So with this one, we still have that power structure, but it's not the same of what you're going to see when it comes to Ghost or Tariq. Even the female characters are vastly different. Despite the fact that this is a prequel and we know how the story ends, it still manages to carve out its own separate way of functioning. And that's what I really loved about this show.
Yeah. And also, I think there are a lot of misconceptions about these Power continuations or spin-offs, if you will. I think a lot of people thought that these shows won't have the same budget that the main Power had, and that therefore they might not be as good or something, or they'll be rushed or not really thought out, or something like that, right? There might be people out there who actually think like that, but this show reinforces that no, they are really investing the time and effort into this Power universe. Like, this is a real thing. This is the continuation of Power, and I think it really hammers home the fact that Ghost Story is done, but there's still a lot more to enjoy in this universe. Like, this show is the one that really reinforces that, like, and they've raised the bar. Like, I'll even go out on a limb here, like, and people might be mad at me for saying this, but I will say that if I'm comparing Power season 1 episode 1 to Raising Kanan episode 1, Raising Kanan is better by far. Like, it's not even close. And the thing is, with that first episode of Power, it held my attention enough to keep me watching. I wanted to find out what was going to happen next. But this Raising Kanan, like, it actually gets you excited for the future in general. Like, you want to see even beyond what's going to happen. Like, it's like, wow, like, I really can't wait to follow this entire journey, of this character, because it was that engrossing and that gripping. So yeah, like,
and not just that character, but all of the characters, because they all have their own independent storylines of what they're going through.
Yeah, for real. And like Dana said, there's, you know, the way the women are written, you know, there are some very strong female characters, like Black female characters as well. And you know, we're at a time where we really need to see that too. So, you know, I appreciate that fact as well. So yeah. But unless you guys have anything else specifically you want to say, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. You know, we're kind of limited in what we can really say and how far we can go here. So, you know, this is just a quick review to let you know our general thoughts of, you know, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Like I said, you know, there is a Powercast episode coming out on Sunday that's going to do a deep dive. So if you by any chance get to watch, you know, Raising Kanan episode 1 this Sunday, then you can tune into our Powercast right after. And, you know, we will have a deep dive talking about, you know, all the story stuff, you know, and giving our analysis on that. But yeah, for the time being, was there anything else you guys wanted to bring up real quick while we're here?
I'll just quickly say, get the strap.
Get the strap. Yeah. Indeed. Make sure you all get the strap, you know. And also, you know, this series, just to like put into perspective of how, you know, good this is, it's already been renewed for season 2 before the first episode even airs. You know, it's already renewed. So,
and it's deserving. It's deserving. It's not just for service. It's deserving.
Very deserving. Yeah, for real. So that just puts it all into perspective right there. Rich, was there anything else specifically you wanted to say?
Oh, no, I just would encourage everybody to check out the show if you're interested. You might be surprised by just how great it is. And definitely want to, again, reiterate what Gary and Dana said, to definitely check out our Powercast episode this weekend on Sunday, because we'll have a lot more to say about the episode and go into detail on quite a bit of things.
And cool. Also really quickly, also on the YouTube website, we have all of our interviews with the cast of Raising Kanan, including the actor who plays Kanan. We have Sasha Penn, the show writer creator, and we have all 3 of the Stark family.
Yeah, so go check out those interviews. I have to give you a lot of credit, Dana, because you're like a pro at interviewing people now. Like, because but yeah, definitely go check out those interviews on the YouTube channel as well. But yeah, that is it from us for now. Thank you all for listening. Big shouts to everyone who supports the Powercast, you know, and who has been a consistent listener, you know, since, you know, I think we started around 2014 or 15 or 16, something like that. You know, it was the 3rd season of Power. So, you know, anyone who's continued to support us, you know, we thank you, you know, deeply, because, you know, you've let us get these opportunities to cover the show today. So thank you all. Big shouts. You guys got any shout outs?
Just shout out to everyone who continues to listen to us, and now we can watch us as well.
Yes. Yeah, all our Powercasts moving forward, we're going to be on video. So we've stepped up production, just like Raising Kanan. You know, so.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Starz for providing us this opportunity to cover the show. A shout out to all the people that support Powercast. As Gary said, we would not be continuing to get these opportunities if we didn't have the support from all of you. So we appreciate that. And we look forward to continuing covering the show as well as the other Power shows for you guys moving forward.
Check out Raising Kanan. Remember, July 18th, it's coming.
Yes.
Yeah, July 18th. Set your alarm clocks now.
Or you can watch it early on the Starz app, which I'm sure a lot of people will, because I predicted we'll be trending early Sunday morning, if I had to make a guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people who unsubscribes from Starz after Power ends, like you need to re-up that right now. Like, don't leave it too late.
Yeah.
And you might want to keep it actually this time around. But But yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, everyone. Take care and enjoy your weekend.